Hey guys, what's going on? Andrew coming at you, and in this one, we're talking about 5 things Sweden does better than America. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, so apologies if my voice doesn't sound exactly that great, but the show must go on. So we are going to get into it with number one, voting. You see, coming from the United States, the only time I ever remember it actually being convenient to vote was the last election, because you could do a mail-in ballot, and it made it very easy for a lot of people to vote. Because normally, to vote in America, you gotta miss work. And maybe you feel a little bit of pressure to miss work. Even though people do it to be able to vote, they have to be able to go vote. It's not necessarily convenient. You really have to plan your day around when you're gonna vote. Flash forward to Sweden, and the voting is typically done on a weekend, like a Sunday, for example, and it's really easy to vote. I never knew in democracies they actually made it easy to vote. I felt that it was meant to be a little bit of a chore. That's what it feels like in America, and I prefer the way they do things in Sweden with voting. So that's number one. Let's get on to number two. But first, our video is sponsored by Atlas VPN. Right now, Atlas VPN is running a huge discount. It means you can get a 3-year subscription plus 3 months free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Time is running out, so get your deal by clicking the link in the video description below. Being a public person online, I understand the importance of protecting my data, and using a VPN is an absolute must. A VPN protects your internet privacy online. It creates an encrypted tunnel for your data. This protects your data by hiding your IP address. It's something I always use when connecting to public Wi-Fi. And one of my favorite ways to use a VPN is when searching for flights online. A lot of times you can get better deals just from switching your location. You can also unlock your favorite content from all around the world online. Can't access Friends or other legendary shows on Netflix while living abroad? That's no problem anymore. Atlas VPN has you covered. Again, right now, Atlas VPN is running a huge discount. It means you can get a 3-year subscription for just $1.83 a month plus 3 months free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Time is running out, so get your deal by clicking the link in the video description below. Thanks again for Atlas VPN for sponsoring this video. Again, on to number two, the media. I'm so used to news media in the United States being so toxic. If you watch CNN, you get kind of a liberal side of things. If you watch Fox News, you get more of a conservative side of things. And our news is very combative and angry. And I like to call it spin. Every side is giving their spin, the liberal take, the conservative take. That it's really like you feel like you have to watch a bunch of different news stations to kind of get the truth. I find that media in Sweden is much more responsible. Yeah, I've heard some people say they think the media here is very liberal, but that tends to be people that are very far to the right here in Sweden, where they feel that certain things aren't talked about. I feel like the media overall is pretty responsible. It doesn't really feel to me like they are pushing one narrative over the other. I find that it's pretty much just the news, just the facts. It's less combative, it's less extreme, and it's so nice to see media done so responsibly that I wish that we did the same in the United States. And that is something I think that Sweden does a better job of. Number three has to be paying your taxes. See, paying your taxes in Sweden is a breeze because it's connected with something that's called Bank ID. Bank ID is a way to identify yourself online, and it's connected between a phone, and a lot of times you can use Face ID, use a special number system, but it's linked to one phone. So in order to identify yourself, the person has to have your phone, they have to know your personalized code, and in a lot of ways you can unlock it using Face ID. And see, using all of this, you can do your taxes online. Doing my taxes online here in Sweden takes anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes. Doing my taxes in America is a very long, complicated process, and it takes such a long time for American taxes to get done because there's so much paperwork with everything. The IRS is way far behind when it comes to doing everything on computers. They are still paper-based in a lot of ways, and Sweden is much more advanced when it comes to paying your taxes. It's much more clear what you're paying for your taxes, why you're paying your taxes, and again, it's an easy process to just go ahead and pay your taxes. So something that Sweden does a great job of. Number four, I don't know why this is, but Sweden just does a better job of fast food. And I mean this, like if I get McDonald's in America and I get McDonald's in Sweden, it tastes better. If I'm going to get fast food in Sweden, though, I typically go with their fast food chain store, Max. I think that's the better way to go. I think Max has better burgers. But even if you're comparing like McDonald's to McDonald's here in Sweden to the US, it's just the food tastes fresher. And I think it's because the qualities of meats and ingredients that we use in the United States, a lot of those ingredients you can't even use in Sweden. They're not legal. So although McDonald's is going to cost you a little bit more, you're actually going to be getting more natural food, or food that's supposed to be real food. That's the way that I've had it described to me. That's the way I've noticed it when buying the food here and getting the food here. Number 6 has to be infrastructure. And I really, really mean this in a lot of different ways. I think that the roads are better built here. You know, where I come from, Pennsylvania, we are always building roads. We're always salting on these roads. And it just causes the roads to deteriorate. So my state's roads in Pennsylvania have tons of potholes, which are little bumps on the road when you're driving. It's something we constantly see. Here in Sweden, we have nicely built roads, and they tend to use gravel a lot of the times instead of salt unless they absolutely need to, because it doesn't seem to destroy the roads. I've heard of some areas where they even heat the roads or sidewalks a little bit so they can slowly heat them up so ice doesn't hit them. Another thing I've noticed in every apartment I've lived in Sweden, when I turn on the hot water, I have hot water instantly. I've never experienced that in the United States. Every time I turn on the hot water, it seems that I have to wait 1 to 2 minutes. Another example of infrastructure is, although Swedish homes cost a lot more money than I think the average American home, and I think in general, homes in Europe cost a lot more money, I often find that I feel that the homes built in Europe are built much more solid or better built. In America, the homes seem to be a little bit more, it feels like you could just punch through some of the walls a little bit more. Like they're a little bit less quality built is kind of the way I see things. And another thing I'll just say about is infrastructure in the United States. We have a lot of roads, a lot of power grids, a lot of things that need to be updated. Where here in Sweden, most things feel updated. The only things that could be updated more, I would say, are our train stations, because we tend to have SJ and other train companies, and let's just say they're not as motivated to make things more advanced right now. So that's the only place I see that happening. But I still think that the United States has a long way to go when it comes to infrastructure. So that's my thoughts on that one. So these were all just my thoughts. I'm curious what you guys think. Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hej då!